Okay.
Oh, I like that. I like the 1, 2, 3 change. You look very, very pro now.
I kind of love the blouse, actually. It's super cool. All right, everybody. I'm just waiting for a couple more participants. We have a lot more registered, but we might get started. This is recorded right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat below, and I'll be checking it while we are going through our discussion. But welcome. I will also be posting this on the website, and I will also be posting this on our Facebook page on New Bloom Media. So you guys can check it out there for everything. And I'll be emailing it out to everyone too. So I want everyone to enjoy this wonderful information. My name is Saarah Samadani. I am the founder and CEO of New Bloom Media, as well as Bloom Summit. This panel, Beauty from the Inside, is one of the panels we were going to have at Bloom Summit next month. But due to COVID, we did have to cancel the summit, as we're not really sure what's going to happen with events in LA. It looks like our governor doesn't want any events taking place throughout the rest of the year. So I thought, hey, let me bring it to you guys virtually, and you guys get to meet the 3 amazing women that I was going to have on the panel. And so let me introduce everybody. So we have Catherine McCord. Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
She is the inspiring founder of the popular Weelicious brand. If you guys aren't following, you should check it out. She's got really good food on her feed. A trusted content resource synonymous with family and food. A graduate of the Institute of Culinary Education. She's created online how-to videos, and she makes them really simple, guys. Like, you guys can totally do this, and we have time right now to be able to do this.
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do.
Yes. She's garnered more than 50 million views across all her platforms, and she has hosted with celebrities such as Jennifer Garner, which was really fun to meet her, by the way, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, and many, many more. She also has a new book out called The Smoothie Project, and we're going to get into it a little bit later. We also have Samantha Harris here with us. Say hi, Samantha.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello.
I'm so excited to have you here. So she is an Emmy award-winning TV host, you guys. She co-hosted the Dancing with the Stars and Entertainment Tonight, and she's also an Emmy award-winning journalist. She also has her best-selling book, Your Healthiest Healthy. She's a certified health coach and a certified trainer. Oh, we have some muscles in the house, right? And then we also have Kelly LeVeque. Hi, Kelly. Hi.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks for being here. She's a holistic nutritionist, a wellness expert, celebrity health coach, and the best-selling author of Body Love. And she just came out with another book, Body Love Every Day. Her deepest desire is to help her clients, and her passion for human nutrition and curiosity about how and why the body works drive Kelly to diligently study the latest research, evaluate competing theories. And that's what I love about you. Like, you're just like, well, let's talk about this theory right now that we're here. Like, I loved your post about like the celery juicing and stuff, where we kind of like talked about it. So if you guys want to check out some of these stuff, she debunks a lot of stuff that's out there, which is really good. And she's very practical and has an optimistic approach to nutrition and wellness, which helps her read us. She has a new podcast, you guys. Kelly, this is so awesome. Yay, we love podcasts. So it's called the Be Well by Kelly podcast. You guys want to check it out after. So why are we having this panel, Beauty from the Inside? It kind of sounds a little interesting as far as the title goes, but this is something why I developed my digital influencer platform, Beauty Mommy. I always talk about beauty from the inside out. And I think it's really important to stay here is like, you know, we've always heard that quote, you are what you eat. And I think that now we're just really starting to dive into the you are what you're eating kind of thing in terms of how you're feeling, but also how it kind of projects out on your skin and how it makes you feel, and also your motivation or energy or lack thereof, depending on what you're putting inside your body. As you guys know, internal imbalances can affect your external appearance. And I'll give you guys a couple examples. So, you know, we deal with like toxin buildup, also nutrient deficiency, which can all be seen on your skin. Your skin can start looking a little dull, maybe a little bit dry. And I'll give you an example of dryness skin. Have you ever had a day where you just completely sugar binged And then maybe a couple days later, you guys have breakouts or dry skin. Catherine, I know you know about the sugar detoxing and stuff like that. We talked about that a lot. But your skin gets very dry, and there's a reason why that happens. And so that's why I have these wonderful experts here, so that we can kind of dive into a lot of the stuff that goes on and how to really nourish our insides so we can project it all out on our outsides as well. So first question here, we've started to see an increase in individuals healing their own personal health ailments and enhancing their aesthetics through the use of nutraceuticals, superfoods, and even quote unquote diets. For instance, increase in women using biotin supplement to help with their hair, skin, and nail growth. Where is a good place for someone to start? Who wants to start?
I'll go for it.
Okay.
So I think we should always just start with whole foods. Like really, I think everyone's looking for a quick fix, and you're looking for supplements and, powders and tinctures and superfoods. But ultimately our gut health and our nutrient, levels and deficiencies are really determined by the foods that we eat most often. So like a good example would be, there was a study that showed that a deficiency in omega-3 could cause chronic acne and inflammation in the skin. So, yes, you could go and supplement with omega-3, but we found that, nutrient levels they're out of the deficiency range if you have wild fish 2 to 3 times a week. So, if your kids or yourself, if you don't like eating fish 2 to 3 times a week, yeah, maybe you would supplement with a high quality omega-3 fish oil or an algae oil. But that's like something to be aware of, because it definitely can manifest it in our skin health.
Yeah, I think that off of what Kelly said, 100%, like people will often say like, I want to lose weight, or, my skin's not good, or, whatever is going on with their body. A lot of the time these are, they don't have to plague you your entire life. And I think that when people eat real food, I dare say that you can eat as much real food as you want, and you're not going to like gain weight. I mean, people will say like, if I have a sweet potato or, banana or whatever it is, like you can enjoy if you're eating the real foods. I think that a lot of the time those, like what Kelly's saying, those superfoods, they're just like also bonuses to, the foods that you're eating, whether you're putting it into a smoothie or some nice cream or something, nutritional yeast you're sprinkling on top of your broccoli, whatever it is. But like real whole foods, it's 100%.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what's happening in the entire room, because obviously Saarah brought us all together because we all have a very similar feeling. A whole foods plant-based diet can do such incredible wonders, not just for you internally, which is exponential. We're talking about avoiding chronic diseases like cancer and type 2 diabetes and heart disease and autoimmune disorders, but because what brought you all here today is, well, what can make me look good? Because I want to look good. And I do have a story as a cancer survivor. It was all about looking good before and wanting to be, I was on TV and I had to have, a certain look. But really, it's about beauty from the inside. And post-cancer, I realized it's about how you feel. What can your body do for you? For how long? And how can you maintain that? And the better you feel on the inside, you realize without trying, it just literally comes through your pores and makes you glow and look so much better on the outside. And the whole foods plant-based diet can, and I'm not saying drop all your favorite foods right now and only switch to whole foods. However, it's really a mind shift. And, with your healthiest healthy lifestyle, it's all about for the nutrition section of it, it's really about the kind of flipping your plate, because we all look at slab of meat and traditional American diet, right? A slab of meat and a little bit of grain, maybe a little bit of vegetable. So when you flip that and you fill half your plates with veggies at every meal and focus more on how you can get more veggies into your diet, it's going to make your beauty come out from within.
I think that's really good. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say one last thing is that I think that, we're always talking, it sounds like we're all talking about like what you're consuming. But like, especially if you start your day with fruit, vegetable, protein, you emotionally feel better. You've made a great choice right outside of the gate. And I think that so much of it comes from like that beauty, whatever we're talking about, the physical outside. But when you're feeling emotionally happy, you are looking, your lens, that mirror that you're looking at looks completely different. So I think that there really is like a 50-50 balance of like what you're eating, but also then you're like proud of yourself. You're emotionally so much more happy.
Yeah. And you're just like giving yourself a pat on the back, right? You are, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that the emotional component of this is also a really important piece of it, right? Because that's what's going to keep you driving to go and stay in the whole foods section of the supermarket and really get the fresh fruits and veggies that you really want to integrate in everything. And it's so funny that you say about the plate. You should see my plate. Like I have like a mound of like greens and veggies, and then I have like my little, I am a meat eater, I love meat, but and then I'll have my meat on there, and then if I have any starches, it'll be like this much on my plate. So it's kind of funny. I did that swap years ago, and I always love it. But it's funny, I get these eyeballs, and like when I go to like my kids' birthday party things, I'm the one at the crudité display, like getting all the veggies. So I have my plate full of vegetables and stuff like that. So I
I'm
think
like the one shoving you out of the way at the crudité, like, no, I want that. Yeah.
Give me the celery. I just want it all.
But you know, as we're talking about the, you know, what the foods are doing within us and how they make us look on the outside, something also to keep in mind, and this is probably more for another webinar for all of us to be on, but is also what you're putting on your body. So if you're employing toxic beauty as part of your daily routine, and I'm talking about the drugstore brand makeup lines and skincare, the ones from the department stores, and all of that layer after layer with skin as your biggest organ, as you absorb that, you think you're doing your body good to look well on the outside and beautiful, but really it's doing harm slowly but slowly, sort of chiseling away. So eventually and slowly, with small manageable steps, making the swap for your beauty into personal care products can have tremendous effects on how you look and glow on the outside.
110%. And let's talk about the toxins and stuff, whether it's from skincare, environmental toxins, toxins from possibly packaged foods. So we use this whole food approach because we're constantly trying to like eliminate these toxins. Like sometimes you just can't help it. It's in the air. We live in LA. Like we can do what we can with like air filters and like whatever Palo Santo and cleansing the air, right? But ultimately, what do you think are some foods that can help someone detox, right? Because when we're fully toxic, I like to give the example of a sink. So, you know, when you're like washing your makeup off on the sink and your mascara is there and you have like maybe like your lotions and your cleansers, then eventually your sink starts getting that buildup. And then when you keep washing your face, you start seeing like the water doesn't go down the drain as easy. And then you get that line and that film around your sink until you clean that drain, right? So that's ultimately what we're doing with detoxing, is we're constantly cleaning that drain so that when we are taking these yummy nutrients and veggies and stuff, it's actually kind of going through us, and then we can really process all the and extract all these yummy nutrients from the foods we're eating. What are some tips that you think could help people in starting to help their bodies detox from whatever it might be, whether it is getting it from the skincare or free radicals, just normal oxidative stress in the body or anything like that? Just a couple tips that people at home can do.
I think one of the biggest things is something we just started off with, which is really flipping your plate and adding as many veggies as you can, especially the leafy greens, and a lot of, color is the key, right? So if you can eat a rainbow every single day,
taste the rainbow.
Right? You are what you eat, right? I mean, truly. So when you are bringing in leafy greens and all different colors of vegetables, from cabbage getting your purple, carrots getting the orange. You guys know your color wheel, so I don't have to go through the veggies. And then fruits, berries are definitely one of the most potent. They have the highest value of antioxidants. And antioxidants first of all, they're powerhouse cancer fighters. But in addition to that, antioxidants are fighters of free radicals that are basically spinning around in your body and wreaking havoc on it from the inside to the outside. So it's going to mess with your skincare and how you look.
Yeah, I would say, so there's some pretty amazing research about getting rid of endocrine disrupting chemicals in the body within a number of, in a very short amount of time. It can be as little as 3 days that we can go from multiple hundreds of chemicals in our urine and blood to dropping that to a third. So the biggest offenders are definitely going to be your plastic. So you shouldn't be like drinking out of plastic, eating food out of plastic containers, heating anything in the microwave or dishwashing plastic. So especially if you have kids, I would make sure that they're using silicone. All of those are like a great and better replacement. And if you can, I would switch to glass or stainless steel. Like there's so many options now on the market for us and for our kids to like pull these chemicals from from just like our cooking. And then I would think about Teflon pans. So any of the nonstick like pans that you would have that have that black coating, that definitely gets into our system. So you can use ceramic, stainless steel, or cast iron. So even just like pulling those things out. And then, lastly, you want to think about fire retardants. So a lot of our cars, a lot of our, your couches, like your furniture, they're going to have fire retardants that give off chemicals. So the best way to clear out fire retardants is actually just to open your windows, because parts per million drop very rapidly. So I would suggest opening your windows of your house for 15 minutes a day. And I know it's kind of annoying because you need to like wet mop or sweep or whatever. And we live in LA, but like actually parts per million, the outside air is a lot cleaner than the inside air. And a lot of people don't know that.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So, and then your beauty care, which I know Samantha mentioned, brands that I love or places where I shop for beauty care, Detox Market, Credo, Citrine Beauty. These are all great resources of clean beauty products that have pulled endocrine disrupting chemicals. Brands like Beauty Counter, I mean, they're pulling phthalates, which are like known obesogens, meaning like we're trying so hard to look beautiful, but you're actually slathering chemicals on that lower insulin sensitivity and actually make us gain weight. So I think chemicals are a major part of like detoxing, because it's really just about like getting rid of the stuff that's coming into our body. And then like Samantha said, with leafy greens are actually the best way to produce glutathione, which is the body's strongest antioxidant. So it isn't something that we eat, it's actually something we produce. It's a super antioxidant, and it's made from leafy greens. And leafy greens and bitter greens are one of like the best cleansers of the liver too. So that's I get really excited and geek out on that because I'm all about leafy greens every day, all day long.
Oh yeah.
So
my language.
Yeah. And then cruciferous veggies, like we have this genetic pathway called NRF2 in every single cell in our body. And this is our major detoxifying pathway. It's an anti-cancer pathway. It comes in contact with over 2% of the genes in our body every single day. And we actually activate this pathway every other hour. But if you eat cruciferous vegetables, this pathway is activated every hour. So that's why cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower and broccoli and arugula and kale are all cruciferous vegetables. They have sulforaphane, which activates NRF2, and that activates it every hour. So you can actually double daily detoxification by including a cruciferous vegetable in your life every day.
And hey, Kelly, I'm going to geek out even further because sulforaphane, if you chop your broccoli and let it sit for about 40 minutes, as you know this, but I'm sharing with everybody else, it releases even more of that. So it's more bioavailable to your body when you ingest it. So a great thing to do is if you're making, I love to pre-make my salads at the beginning of the week and wrap the lettuce in paper towel and have a bunch of the veggies also wrapped in paper towel to absorb the excess moisture. But if you pre-chop and add some broccoli into that, or even power up with broccoli sprouts, which are like 10 times as potent for us, but that also helps really with the sulforaphane.
Yeah.
And with this, like going back to the basics of it, it's just like, I think that off of what everyone is saying here, for those people that are just like, I don't like vegetables, or I've never like, my parents didn't like vegetables, so I don't like vegetables. All these preconceived notions, figuring out ways that you actually do like to eat them. Do you like them roasted? Do you like them sauteed? Do you want them mixed with something? Do you want some brags on them? I think that once people figure out like, oh, wait a minute, like maybe I do like kale. I just didn't, I had it raw once and it tasted so strong and bitter. Exactly. I stayed away, but like, oh, if I put it in a smoothie with some pineapple or mango, or if I, saute it with some garlic and olive oil, all of a sudden, oh my God, I love it. Or mashed with avocado. So
Totally.
figuring out ways, just like some super simple, easy ways that you do like these foods, and especially in quarantine when we're trying to add them more into our diet, trying to feel more beautiful inside and out, finding like 2-3 different preparations, I think goes a long way.
And I think it also, if you guys want to know, even just externally, everything from the cruciferous vegetables to the glutathione, it's what makes your skin glow. Your skin glows from that, and it helps process your hormones, and your skin glows from that when you can process hormones a little bit better, and you're in a better mood overall, right? And we just naturally glow from being in a better mood. So on top of cruciferous vegetables, what we're seeing now is we're starting to see more of these conversations about superfoods. And I think that people don't really understand when someone hears the term superfood and how this superfood can kind of help them, right? Essentially, it's just basically a very nutrient dense food where you kind of get more bang for your buck, right? When you're eating it, you're getting all these yummy nutrients in a small amount of food, right? So what's your take on superfoods and how they can kind of integrate that into their routine and how it can actually affect them from an external, from beauty on the outside?
It's funny, I actually have right now a campaign going on my Instagram that I keep posting all about superfoods, with every 2 or 3 days posting about a new superfood, why it's great, what it does for you. 3 of my favorite superfoods, one we already talked about, which is broccoli, and then of course those amazing broccoli sprouts. You can sprout them yourself. I get them from my farmer's market down the street. Wild organic blueberries also are so amazing. Wild blueberries are kind of like I said about the sprouts when it comes to broccoli, same comparison, conventionally raised blueberries, even organic to organic wild blueberries, exponentially more antioxidants, all the things that are those nutrient dense, valuable things that are going to be in your body doing such greatness on a cellular level, right? So we keep talking about fighting cancer, and I guess I always go there just because I'm a survivor of that. But it also, the changes that you make and avocados is my third one, by the way, before I go off on this other tangent. But avocados, not only are they great for your skin because of the wonderful omega-3s and the wonderful oh my goodness, the oils in them are wonderful, right? I like to make a mask with avocado. I take a bath in avocado. But avocado also has a lot of fiber, and I want to talk about fiber a little bit later if we have a chance to get to it. But the bottom line is that when you are making these changes in your diet it's affecting you on a cellular level, and it's affecting you in a way that is going to reduce your, whether it's reducing your triglycerides and your cholesterol. The fiber is going to help because it's going to make you regular. You need the healthy fats because they help build cells, and you need it for a multitude of other things. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to let the other girls jump in. But so those are my 3 tops, though: wild blueberries, organic for everything, wild blueberries, avocados, and broccoli or broccoli sprouts. Who wants to jump in? Catherine?
Sure, I'll go. And I was so for wild blueberries because a lot of people will think, like, when I was a kid, there were wild blueberry bushes right outside of our yard in Kentucky, and it was we couldn't pick pounds enough of them. But now, I mean, in Los Angeles, not a lot of wild blueberries around, so you can get them frozen. So they have them at Trader Joe's, sells wild blueberries, and Whole Foods sells wild blueberries. So it's such a great point because there's such a distinction. But when you can get them frozen, it's just like an easy way to, I mean, my kids literally just pour bowls of them and like sit and eat them because they like them when they're cold. One of my superfoods that I love, and we eat them practically every day, are mushrooms. So mushrooms, again, are incredible cancer fighters. If we eat everything from shiitakes to portobellos to enokis, I mean, any kind. You can also put reishi in your smoothies if you're trying to, double down on your mushrooms. But that for me is like way up there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love mushrooms, and they're super high in vitamin D, right? We like vitamin D, right?
Yeah, I would say that you know, a lot of foods come to mind. I think when it comes to the beauty of whole foods is that they, depending on what you're eating, it could be beets that are really blood building, and it could be, you know, the leafy greens that are liver cleansing. But a couple that stand out for me right now would be bone broth. So bone broth is a phenomenal source of collagen, and we produce around 3 grams of collagen internally daily, but it takes around 10 grams is the threshold before we're producing new collagen internally. And it takes collagen, amino acids, and vitamin C. So I love bone broth because of that. You're rounding out this amino acid profile. And if you are a meat eater, any of the research that shows that like meat eating, it shortens a lifespan is completely negated if someone has enough collagen amino acids, if they're eating nose to tail. So I just always encourage my clients, you know, if they are, that they should incorporate some type of collagen type of a protein, like a bone broth or a collagen protein. But what's so cool about bone broth is it's also really rich in hyaluronic acid, which is really, if you are into skincare, it's like the best, most hydrating thing you can put on your skin, but it's also what lubricates our joints, our ligaments, like, and all of our skin. So I'm super into the glowy effects that I get from collagen, and specifically bone broth.
That's awesome. I love bone broth. I actually have collagen every single day. And I think for me, if I were to integrate something, is I would load up in vitamin C. Like I feel like vitamin C is something that is completely underrated. You can find it in a lot of leafy greens. Obviously, berries are really high in them, as well as we know oranges and stuff like that. But I feel like vitamin C really kind of puts the body together and helps us process a lot of stuff. Yes, it helps build up the immunity, but there's a reason for that. And for me, like I have Hashimoto's, I have hypothyroidism, as you know, like, and vitamin C also helps the absorption of the thyroid meds I have to take as well. So there's a lot of really good benefits to vitamin C. So for me, like any fruits and veggies that have tons of vitamin C, I load up every single day. And vitamin C also helps your skin glow. I know I keep saying that, skin glowing, but vitamin C is awesome.
And if you're reading, I mean, I don't want to say anything. It's only, you know, some of the studies that I've been reading, but there early studies are showing there is a connection with COVID and vitamin C. So do your own research. But that's the same with us. We've literally been going, like, I'm having delivered actually here just tons and tons of oranges and citrus, and literally just throwing them in the blender, fiber and all. We've been taking, you know, vitamin C supplements and, you know, pee them out, which you don't need. So it's good.
Yeah, we've been doing that. Yeah, I've been taking, like, for me, this personally, like, even on top of all of the fruits and veggies, I've been taking like 4,000 grams of vitamin C a day. I have my kids on a high dose too. I mean, water soluble, it'll kind of stream out of you. You don't need that much. So all of you ladies have so much knowledge, and you guys have written some amazing books. And I kind of wanted to go through the books that you guys have out there. And so we'll start with you, Kelly, and we'll go down the line. But I have all of these amazing women's books. And what I love about them is that they talk about real world experience from their own personal stories. And they live and breathe what's in their books. And that, I think, is what I love about it so much, is that it's so authentic. And it's something that is doable, and you can do it a step at a time. And these 3 women give you really easy instructions on how to kind of slowly start integrating all of this stuff in your life. And I think that that is the more sustainable journey and approach to this overall wellness from the inside. So Kelly, let's start with your Body Love book and your new Body Love Every Day, which I haven't gotten yet, but so let's start with your Body Love stuff.
Okay, thanks. So I wrote Body Love in 2000. It came out in 2017, and Body Love Every Day came out in 2019. And what it is it's a light structure lifestyle. It's not a diet. It really infuses a lot of science. And what I hope to do for people is to teach them how blood sugar works, and inflammation, and what each of us need on a biochemical and nutritional level. Meaning we need essential amino acids from protein, we need essential fatty acids from fat. And then I include, other than protein and fat, I include 2 other things: fiber and leafy greens, or vegetables deep in color. And I call that the Fab Four. And what it is it's a positive little checklist of a way for you to feel really good about what you're putting on your plate. So it's like, where's your fiber and greens? where's your healthy fat? Do you have a source of protein? And people can be vegan, vegetarian, keto, paleo, gluten-free, dairy-free. Like, I have clients of all different lifestyles, but really the focus is on the most nutrient dense, healthy foods. And it's what those 4 categories do together. What the Fab4 does together is it helps to balance your blood sugar. So when you're eating vegetables that are considered cellular carbohydrates, or vegetables wrapped in their fiber cell, their sugar and starch is slower to digest, and the blood sugar curve follows that. And when we add fat to it, it's even slowing that digestion, and protein does the same. So they work together to regulate 8 hunger hormones in your body and really elongate your blood sugar curve without you ever needing to understand, like, what is glucose, what is insulin, what is A1C, what's glucagon. Like, I explain all that, but if you're like, I don't really care about that, I just want the most nutrient dense foods, I want to feel full, and I don't want to be crashing and craving, this supports people to do that. And what I think is so great is it really puts the power in your hands of, what do you like to eat? Like, what veggies do you like? Like, what proteins do you like? You can choose for yourself and for your family. But the goal is just really to increase in the leafy greens and fiber-rich veggies on your plate, and choose healthy fats that, because I think might have been Samantha mentioned it earlier, like, the fats and proteins and the foods that we eat are integrated into our cell membranes. And so even if you're cooking with canola oil or vegetable oil or grapeseed oil or safflower oil, sunflower oil, these actually are inflammatory omega-6s that can make rigid cell membranes that we have then, neurons don't fire as fast, and that communication breaks down. So when you think about just, you want really mobile cell membranes, and you want those like healthy fats to integrate, like, it's just getting positive about what's on your plate, getting excited that you ate those things, and really celebrating, which we talked about earlier. Like, if you are celebrating, oh, like, I added broccoli to my plate, or I added a side salad at a restaurant, like, and you start to feel proud of yourself, you actually release dopamine in the brain, in the same way that, like, eating those processed, like, snacky foods, when we eat all that stuff, we release dopamine. But if you are just proud of yourself for eating healthy, you talk about it with your kids or your family, like, oh, I'm so proud of you, you're eating, they release dopamine, and their ability to create behavior changes and eat that way again and again and again goes up. So the more proud we are, the more we celebrate the healthy foods that we're eating, the more likely we'll do it again.
Yeah. And you also physically feel the difference as well on top of all of that, right? You physically feel like, I make your Fab4 smoothie just about every other morning, and I added like cocoa nibs and a couple other like superfood things in there too. But I just like, you just feel better. And when your mind feels like it's sharper and functioning more, or you have more energy to go get that workout in, or whatever it is you want to do, the yoga, whatever it might be, or even just to get through the work day, or now we're balancing homeschooling our kids and getting our work done. I feel like that also kind of adds to the motivation to kind of keep that going too. So I think that I love her Body Love book. I will send you guys the link to all of these wonderful ladies' books where you can buy them. But yeah, I love that so much. So Samantha, let's chat about your book. And I did forget to mention, she is a cancer survivor. And I think that is really important. I have a couple, I lost my mom to cancer. So when I see individuals that are cancer survivors, I have great respect for them, because I saw, seeing a parent deteriorate before your eyes from a really, really bad disease state, that, she was already past the point of no return. But when you can get back your body into this lifestyle and really go internal and understand how foods can play a role in helping you heal, I think that I just have so much respect for people that can do that. And Samantha was one of those people. So now she has a great book sharing her story, but also on top of that with all of her certifications. So let's talk about your Healthiest Healthy book.
Thank you. Well, yes. So, and I'm so sorry about your mom. I know that pain, because I lost my dad to colon cancer. And so when I was 40 and blindsided by this breast cancer diagnosis, with a 3 and 6-year-old at home, a husband who I loved and wanted to be here, and have my grandkids know me, where my kids never got to know my dad. And so I'm a journalist by trade, and I leaned into my journalism background, and I researched everything that I could because I didn't have any hereditary markers that led to my cancer. And actually only 5 to 10% of breast cancers are actually genetic. And so I needed to know why are 1 in 8 women diagnosed with invasive breast cancer over the course of her lifetime? What is this going on in our society and with our world? And it's truly what you put in, on, and around your body that lead to all sorts of good or bad things, right? They can lead to many chronic diseases and autoimmune disorders. And in order to be truly healthy, I really took a holistic approach to my own life. And then I wanted to be able to share it with others because there wasn't one comprehensive action plan out there that all the elements from nutrition, how to eat, what to eat, how to find the foods and buy the foods and the right ones for your body. How to approach exercise with a completely different mentality for life. And what about the toxins that are on your body? And we talked about this briefly earlier, but what's in your beauty bag? What are you, I spent my career in the makeup chair being shellacked with God knows what, right? And so it was weird, post-cancer, getting back in the makeup chair and trying to figure out, well, okay, why? I don't know if I want what these makeup artists and hairstylists, who are lovely, wonderful people, and I've been working with for years, and they meant no harm, but what are they putting on me? And what are we, whether it's the stay-at-home mom, the power lawyer, all us working women or stay-at-home moms who have busy lives, we are all putting things on our bodies. And then the last part of it is really more of the spiritual, because if you are surrounded by toxic people, it's going to wreak havoc on your insides and your outsides.
Yeah.
So how do you mitigate the toxic relationships? And then how do you reinforce positivity and build resiliency, which is the key to a thriver's mindset? So, again, not just about the food you put on your plate, which is definitely a huge part of it, but that holistic approach about how you feel about how you feel about your career and your relationships and your spirituality and your physical exercise or movement. So to reduce the toxins in your life, one thing that has had, immense impact are the toxins in your beauty bag. I want to just talk about that for a second, because we are so attached to our lotions and our potions and our tonics, our skin miracle cream, right? No, I know now. And which is just, but I don't want anybody listening to be overwhelmed, because it is truly about small, manageable steps and making tiny changes. So when we were talking about food, it's really with food, flip your plate. Think about getting more veggies on your plate, one veggie at a time, or get rid of high fructose corn syrup. That could be the one thing you do for the next month that you're trying to healthify yourself. When it comes to your beauty, skin being the biggest organ, change up your foundation. We already heard Kelly talk about some of also my favorite online clean beauty markets, Credo Beauty, Detox Market, Folane is another one. They're all like Sephora, but everything, they've done all the dirty work for you.
Yeah.
So that everything that you are purchasing through them, all the brands are clean and not going to have endocrine disruptors, carcinogens, allergens. And I'm sure many of you know, but if you don't, the European Union bans more than 1,300 chemicals as toxic, possibly carcinogenic substances. And the US only bans 11. I think they're on the way to banning 30, but it's sort of mixed information out there. So I'm sticking with the 11 until I know for sure. Still, that's way too few, right? So basically the book is really an action plan to be able to take people step by step, little by little, of how to make those changes. And the other thing I just wanted to talk about is the importance of daily movement being essential to your healthy. And I used to think that meant going to the gym, slamming it as hard as I could to the mat, killing myself till I was drenched, and making sure I got that hour of cardio in a day. And that's actually not necessarily the truth. The largest population of centenarians, the people who live to over 100, it's about integrating daily movement into their life. A daily walk, yoga, it could be kickboxing or spin, and they increase your endorphins. And so all that blood flow is going to also make your skin radiant. And the exercise, of course, is a phenomenal bonus for everything that you have in your life and wanting to have your best health. So I can talk all day, so I'm going to stop, because I have my own webinars that I will talk all day for you guys with all these topics. And I hope that people will join me for that at some point, but I'm so glad to be part of this Bloom Summit. So Saarah, thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for being a part of it. There's another story you guys might want to check out. It's called Earth Hero. They have also curated a lot of products, but they've also curated on top of like the clean beauty products and the clean home and healthcare products. They have curated the brands that are also sustainable, which is actually really interesting. So if you guys want to check out Earth Hero, they're a really good one. So Catherine McCord has a new book out. I think that's your third one, right? Your third.
It's my third book. Yes.
Your third book, and it's called The Smoothie Project. And I just wanted to preface it. Obsessed with it, which is really fun because I get to integrate Kelly's Fab Four with some of Catherine's like ingredients as well, with some of her ideas. But I sat there, I literally did what you said when we had the event at with Once Upon a Farm and Jennifer Garland. I sat there, I pulled the book out, I opened it, and I had my kids sitting next to me. And we were flipping through the book, and I had like little sticky notes, and I was like, okay, which ones do you guys want to try to make? And so I had little stickies for my son and little stickies for my daughter. And we were like going through all of the things in the book that we wanted to make and create. And it was the funnest thing just to do that. But it's really nice because the book kind of gets, and I'll let you finish it, but the book really gets into, you know, kind of what the journey is. And again, just kind of taking it a step by step and day by day, and how to integrate it into your family life. And it's from your own personal experience. I'll let you explain how you decided to develop the Smoothie Project and where the book came from. It's a great story too.
Oh, thank you. And I also want to say, like, I bought Kelly and Samantha's books, and I can't tell you what like incredible resources they are also. And I think that there's so many tips and tricks and like just nuggets inside that really help people on a daily basis, including myself. So this is the Smoothie Project. It's my third book. And it has many different ways that it started, but the biggest was when my son was 8 years old. He started getting headaches and nausea and didn't want to go to school. And this is a kid that like loved school. And his health for months just decreased. And we were seeing doctors and nutritionists, and, you know, I have years of experience, and we were literally all perplexed. And I read this book called Cure Your Kids with Food, and there was a line just about smoothies. So the next day I took a piece of paper and I wrote little pictures of fruits and little vegetables and proteins, and I handed it over him, and I said, you know, if you could pick any ingredients you want, what would you want in your smoothie? And we did it. And day one, he drank it, he loved it. Day two, and this went on for almost 3 weeks. And within those 3 weeks, all of his symptoms disappeared. And what I realized was he became a vegetarian on his own when he was 5 years old. And, you know, just from years of, you know, wanting, like, cooking is fun, it's happy, it's food. And I started to fall into this vortex of, like some parents do, more crepes and pancakes and waffles every morning. It's all happy, it's fun. But what I was doing was sending him to school with these flours and sugars, even though unrefined honey and maple syrup, but it doesn't matter. It still was like in his body, it was collecting. And he was, over time, I think, starting to eat less fruits and vegetables.
It's that sink example. It's like it builds up, and you can't get rid of it because you don't have the nutrition to like get it out, right, to process it. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I think that I 100%, it's a beautiful analogy. So what we ended up doing was just a smoothie every morning, and he was in control of what went in it. So the cookbook is filled with 100 recipes that are all different, for everything from, you know, berry heavy smoothies, decadent smoothies, green smoothies, tropical smoothies, like every flavor combination you can imagine. But what it ended up also going down the road for me was, like, even when I would go to health food stores or Whole Foods, I would go to the smoothie section and be like, I have no idea. This is overwhelming. Like, what's ashwagandha? And like, what is reishi? And collagen peptides do what? So it breaks down the book. There's just a very like thick chart, like what the foods do, why you need them, what you're feeling, like what are the symptoms in your body? Like, the book really even started 10 years ago for me when I was pregnant with my middle child, and I was so sick, and my midwife was like, you have got to get the nutrients. Your body, you're feeding a baby. And so she's like, you should have a smoothie. And I was like, never had a smoothie. I mean, I go to Jamba Juice once in a while, which we all know it's sherbet. It's not real food. Sorry. But, you know, so like, and I started having a smoothie every day 10 years ago. And it, like, I mean, it's like, it's just a revelation once you start like living it. And I think that that is exactly what Kelly preaches every single day. Samantha is living the lifestyle. You obviously are, you know, proof. I mean, all of your knowledge and everything you're learning. And I think that it's just like making those baby steps that once you start feeling good and putting, like for me, smoothies, it's just portable, it's easy, it's delicious. I'm just still a 5-year-old. I want delicious food. So if it doesn't taste delicious, I'm like, I don't want to eat this. So it's a matter of like figuring out fun ways to enjoy the foods that make us feel good and happy.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's really practical too, because, you know, even some of the stuff, which was an introduction to me too, is the frozen fruits and veggies, right? Because there are the frozen organic fruits and veggies. And in my mind, it's like, you want the fresh stuff, but sometimes it's not in season. Sometimes it just, you can't keep it in your fridge for very long and stuff like that. And so they still have all the nice nutrients, power pack nutrients in there, which is really great. And the book kind of talks about that and how to get around that and stuff. And if you guys look at her feed, do you still have that picture on your feed of what your freezer looked like when COVID started?
Oh yeah.
That was a fun picture. So it literally has all these frozen fruits and veggies to kind of go through it, because there were times where there were no fruits and veggies out in the section when all this stuff started.
They still, at our local Whole Foods, will only let you buy 4 bags of frozen berries. It's like, it pains me. I'm like,
I know, me too.
But I think, well, off of what you're saying, I think it's really important, like access. I mean, the 3 of us wrote books for people all over the world. So whatever your access is to frozen to fresh, it is like just doing your best possible, buy local as often as possible.
And I want to say too, I love, Saarah, that you pointed out that we used to always think, oh, we need the fresh, the frozen, but actually the frozen is, especially with produce, you really do want to try, especially with berries, which are so heavily sprayed with pesticides. Try when you can to pick organic. The Environmental Working Group, EWG.org, has a wonderful guide of the most heavy pesticides, fruits and veggies, called the Dirty Dozen, and then the Clean 15, which is of course the kind of the bottom of the list in a good way, with the fewest amount of pesticides. However, when you're talking about wanting bang for your buck and nutritional punch, packed with punch, you have those frozen organic fruits, because they are picked at the height of ripeness, which means it's the height of their best nutrient density. And sometimes you're actually gonna get better nutrients out of those frozen ones instead of the ones that you're buying from the fresh food section that have been on a truck, and then they've been in the car, and then they've been sitting there, and then now they're sitting in your fridge forever. So that's a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. And also too, I think, Catherine, we were talking about this. Was it you that were talking about this, where you can take, you know, because we have now these limitations of the frozen fruits and veggies that we can have, that you cannot actually freeze the fresh ones when you see them.
That's what we've been doing. Oh yeah, are you kidding me?
I learned that from you.
We got organic strawberries. We got flats of them, and I was like, what am I going to do with these? So I made fruit leather, and then we froze a ton. And you just put them on, wash them, put them on parchment lined baking sheets, put them in the freezer, and you know, whenever, however, whatever, wherever, just get it, freeze it,
get them in there,
get it, eat it.
I even do that with my kale from Trader Joe's that I buy prepackaged organic. Tends to turn pretty fast. So actually I get it right from the Trader Joe's, and I put it straight into my freezer, even though it's
smart.
You know, it's going in my smoothie, and that way it doesn't turn.
Yeah.
So smart. Well, I just wanted to thank you guys for being here. I'm so humbled and so grateful to be around you wonderful women. We all have the same passion for, you know, internal wellness, and just to really take a holistic approach on our lives in general. And, you know, as women, we always want to look younger. And I think that maybe that's what motivates partly me selfishly as well. But before we go, I just kind of wanted to leave off and maybe give people just a couple of your go-to beauty tips, whether it's an external beauty tip or like a supplement or a routine or a shot or something like that. What's a couple of beauty tips that get you going every day?
I'll start. Why not? I'll start. So I personally think skin, like you don't appreciate it in your teens and your 20s and, you know, your 30s. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's not about the makeup that goes on my face. It's about my skin. And you start to really appreciate how glowy it is, and like not wearing makeup. So for me, collagen peptides I take absolutely every day. Hair, skin, nails. When I started years and years ago, like now I have to like clip my nails like every single week, which I'm like, that's a good thing. So that collagen really boosting your skin, 15, 20%, whatever percentage, you will notice it. And hydration, using, back to what you were saying, EWG and Made Safe is an amazing label. Look for those on your beauty products, really hydrating your skin, drinking tons of water. And I love an eyelash curler, just saying. I mean, when all else fails and you're tired in the morning, you got an eyelash curler.
Brighten it up. Love that. Sleep is my biggest thing. I'm someone who really does the best. And this is going to, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, it makes me sound so lazy. But 9 hours, I know if I mean, it's 8 to 9, but if I can really get 9 hours, I am yours. I can do whatever. That and getting your daily movement in. So those two things can really help build you from the inside out, and to be the healthiest that you can be, but also to look the best. Because when you are well rested and you get those endorphins, that blood pumping, you don't need a stitch of makeup.
Well, you're detoxing in your sleep as well, right? So when we're sleeping good hours and we have the sufficient nutrition, because you guys, we're also burning calories when we're sleeping, by the way. So just know that you still need energy and nutrition to be able to sleep. So that's the peak time where your body's actually detoxing. So just know that we need a little bit of rest, or a little R&R can't hurt anybody, right?
And the more that you do get that good sleep, the more that you are getting the time in for the detoxing. But also intermittent fasting is a great trick.
I do that.
It only has to be done even a couple times a week. I do it without even thinking, especially on the weekends if I want to sleep in. You go to bed or stop eating, and maybe around 7 or 8 o'clock, sleep in if you're able to. My kids are finally old enough to go watch. So sorry for those who have little ones, because God, I'm
like, what are you talking about?
Kelly and I are like
5:30 a.m. wake up call every day.
It's better when they finally learn how to use the remote, especially if you withhold TV all week and they only get to watch it on the weekends.
There you go. There you go. I would say I definitely echo what both of these women have said. They're all like amazing beauty hacks and tips. I just think like one of the things that's tried and true for me is vitamin C and hyaluronic acid. So vitamin C topically, hyaluronic acid topically, and then vitamin C internally and hyaluronic acid internally. Like,
love it.
And that's like a great way to think.
How do you get the hyaluronic acid internally? Because I know how to put it on, in your products.
It's coming from inside of bone broth. So so if you eat meat, though, I don't know.
Then the source of the bone broth. So the source, if you're going to eat animal protein, right? You want to make sure that if it's beef, it is grass-fed and organic. If it is poultry, and we're talking even the eggs, milk, cheeses, organic and pasture-raised, because the source is so important.
Yeah. My favorite is from Bel Campo, if you're here in Los Angeles.
It's so great.
She runs a 100% regenerative farm.
Ooh,
so regenerative organic certification is like my favorite. Yeah. So those would be my two favorites right now, outside of what everyone else said.
I think that's awesome. I think my favorite, well, I already said vitamin C. Vitamin C is a really big one for me. I think that, as time goes on, I learn the importance of vitamin C, and it's like you constantly find out like, oh, vitamin C could also do this and help with this. And it's kind of fun. For me also is the glutathione. I do take a glutathione supplement. I do a glutathione IV every month during ovulation, because I'm now dealing with hormonal stuff too. But glutathione, it just really helps your skin glow, and I get it from the fruits and veggies that I eat, as Kelly was talking about earlier. I think that is something that's important for my body, and I find that I feel a lot better when I'm on it, and again, it makes like skin glow. So those are my two go-to favorites. So thank you, ladies, for your time. Thank you, everybody watching, for your time. Stay tuned for some more virtual events that we'll have from Bloom Summit and beyond. And I will definitely send you guys all the links for these 3 amazing women's books. I highly recommend all 3 of them. And I love you guys to death. So thank you guys for being here. Much love to you guys.
Saarah.
Bye.
active on my Instagram, and I'm really trying to be good about getting back to people if you guys have questions.
She's good. Yeah, she's really good. Well, actually, all three of them are really good at getting back to people, I have to say, which is really awesome. But I just want everyone to wish you guys well, good health, stay healthy and stay safe. And we're going to get through this. And then we'll get to see everybody in person soon. So
Yay.
take care, everyone. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.